I'm going to shake here to do my review of the X-Shot Insanity Berzerko. This is a very fun and economical blaster that you can get currently for about $15 on Amazon, which is where I picked this up myself. This blaster is a spring-powered, cylinder-fed, bolt-action blaster that has both single fire and slam fire. Comes with multiple Picatinny rails. You got one full length here on the top in front of the integrated reflex sight. You have two, one on either side of the faux barrel, and then one fourth one here down below on the trigger guard and grip area. So lots of rails, but I'll get to that later, because having a lot of rails is nice if they're usable. Now, this is a 8-shot capacity on the cylinder fed, and like I said, it is both single shot and slam fire. Included in the package for your $15 is 48 of X-Shot's new darts. These are the waffle tip kind, which are a huge improvement over X-Shot's old Excel darts. Like, night and day difference. The only reason to keep Excel darts is because, well, like one of my upcoming videos is going to be a Busby Classics. The old Busby blasters can use X-Shot Excel darts for the most part, whereas they can't use modern length darts. So that's pretty much now the only reason to keep X-Shot Excel darts, because X-Shot's own new darts are far, far superior. It also includes ammo holders, like you've seen pictured with the whole Insanity line. You get one of these rectangular ones, as well as two of the round ones, all for $15. So 3 ammo holders, almost 50 darts, and a blaster for $15. X-Shot's keeping that value going for sure. Now, like I said, single fire or slam fire. So we'll give it a try real quick. Couple shots of single fire. Now let's try slam fire. You will note, I wanted to showcase that because it's happened every single time that I've slam fired. The only hiccup I have found with this blaster in about 400 shots is under slam fire, it will sort of hang up in the system if you go a little too fast. And I wasn't even cranking out the shots like crazy. It never will happen in single fire. Has not ever happened in about, like I said, about 400 shots. But every time I slam fire it, it's almost like the system can't quite keep up. So, first issue noted immediately. And I want to show you that right away. Now, when I put this up on my chronograph, with the included darts, now keep in mind, that's these darts here from X-Shot. They're a little bit heavier. These darts, I was averaging 74.9 feet per second. So pretty good. A bit higher than Nerf. 74.9, we'll just say 75 just to be easy. So about 75 feet per second compared to Nerf's 70. So keep that in mind. With other darts, including men gun darts, Busby's new waffle tips, Busby Precise Pros, Worker full lengths, Adventure Force darts, Nerf Elites, the whole mix of a bin that I keep. When I fired that over the chronograph, I was getting 78.3. So a little higher overall. And of course, the few Precise Pros mixed in there does help bump that average up a little bit, because that's just what they do. They're kind of high performance darts. But around 78 feet per second with the mixture darts, about 75 feet per second with the included darts. So above Nerf standard performance by a little bit. And overall, extremely reliable single shot firing with a little hiccup on the slam fire. Now, moving on to the ergonomics of the blaster, it's actually quite comfortable. The stock itself is a little on the short side, as you would expect, because this is going to be intended for all users, and it does not have an adjustable stock. So take it or leave it, it's a little short. Now for me it is. I'm only about 5'10", which is your kind of average height, but I have long arms for my height, which makes me kind of have to choke up, as you can see. And when you are having to choke up on it, it feels a little cramped, but the prime is so light that I don't need to shoulder it. You shoulder it just because you want to, and if somebody is small and young enough that they do need to shoulder it to prime it, this shorter length is probably going to be ideal for them. And that's fine. The grip is comfortable. There is not a true foregrip here, but I never had an issue finding a place for my hand, because the only time you're resting your hand is when you're not priming, and you're pretty much going to keep your hand, whether you're right-handed firing wise, or if you're left-handed, you're pretty much going to rest your offhand on the bolt itself, and you're going to find yourself basically just kind of holding it out and firing it like so. So ergonomically, it's fine. The stock could be a little longer, but I'll take it as it is. It feels light, like really light. It feels almost like the weight of a pistol style blaster instead of a full-size primary. And of course, X-Shot uses pretty light plastic, thinner, less of it. And despite that, I didn't feel like this felt cheap. It's pretty solid, pretty sturdy, very little creaking, and very little flex. It's actually pretty good overall. I can make it flex, but it feels pretty good. It feels solid. And considering the price that it's only $15, I can't really complain about it. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about, the rails. It's great to have rails. It's nice to have an integrated sight. But the integrated sight, you really have to kind of smash your face down. Like my cheekbone here actually prevents me from really and truly using this, because I have to crush down to use it. And I know it's a sight on a dart blaster. You could put another one on the top. Just even a cheapo that I've got over here. I was using it and slid it on, clamped it in place. It's like a $2 one from somewhere, but pretty much that eliminates the whole use of the entire rail, because you need it. You want a sight. Even if you don't, and you're just going to sight down the barrel, well, then you can't put your ammo holder up there. And let's talk about these ammo holders. They're one of the things you see pictured on all the Insanity line. The Ragefire, the Mega Barrel, the Berzerko itself here. These things are something that look good for a YouTube thumbnail or a photo for social media, but they're practically useless. Because I want to show you something. I've got it loaded, and I'm going to turn it. You bounce it around a little bit, and then kaboom. They don't actually hold the darts. As soon as you put enough weight of darts, see this little holder here, all it has is this little plug that fits in where a dart would go. So as soon as it has enough weight, it overloads it, and then it falls. And it will. You load it up, you go running around, and as soon as you aim down and you're running with it, you're going to lose one or two or all three ammo holders. And another thing, the ammo holders themselves, they don't actually stay on the rails very well either. They'll fall off. Like any of the rails. It's not a good fit. Like for the Picatinny mount, and it doesn't have any kind of real nub to it. It doesn't have any locking mechanism. So as soon as you put a little weight to it, they'll slide off. And that bottom one, I always had an issue with it hitting my arm. And it might just be me, but right or left-handed, it's hitting my arm the whole time. And I will knock darts out of it if there's darts in it, or bend the dart. So that bottom rail is pretty much useless. And you can see there, the holder actually came off of its little mount. It's just not a good design. It's just neat for people to take thumbnails. But practically, this is the worst part of it. If you put this right where you would like to have it, you'd like to have darts right here to load the cylinder. Look at this. If you were to look from here to here, I now have blocked the loading of the cylinder. Try to shove a dart in there. It's like you can't load the cylinder, because that's what happens to the dart now. So yes, you could scoot this further forward, but you know what happens then? Here we go. What's going to give first? Oh, it all fell. It's and that's just a little bit of shaking. In a game, you're going to lose all three of them if you put all three on here. So, again, they're almost a freebie because it's a $15 blaster that happens to come with a few accessories. I mean, you get almost 50 of these darts, so that's the 50 darts, or 48, plus plus the blaster, that's already a good enough buy. They include those holders, but I would never, ever, ever use them because you're just going to lose them. They're going to get in the way, and they're going to be flopping around for the little time that they're still on the blaster. So the two marks against this are the included ammo holders really don't have a functional purpose. Unless you were to epoxy them in place somewhere better, like on the bottom here, or underneath the barrel, out of the way to where it doesn't get in the way of you loading. And the slamfire feature, a lot of people don't even use slamfire that much, but the slamfire feature does cause hiccups, which you could probably solve that with modding. But in stock configuration, this does not really like slamfiring, even though it advertises it as a feature. So, 2 marks against it, everything else going for it. It's a pretty solid backyard type blaster that comes in at $15, comes with a ton of darts, and outperforms Nerf, which that's the benchmark. So it's cheaper, performs better, and it's comfortable to use and fun to use. So I actually, despite the hiccup in the slamfire and the kind of useless ammo holders, I still would recommend it. I paid my $15 for it, and I'm still happy that I did. So thumbs up for me for the Berzerko. Hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Smoke Exchange.